Hey everybody, happy Friday. I hope you're having a great day. I wanted to jump on here really quick in an unofficial video format. I mean, obviously it's like crazy disastrous behind me. But I just wanted to share with you kind of off the cusp, in the moment, some things that I've been doing over the past few weeks that have really helped calm my nervous system. And I'm seeing some great improvements in just like my overall well-being because of it. So that's what I'm gonna talk to you about really quickly. Just chat with you about. It might not be really quickly because I'm not I have no outline, but I just want to talk to you and just openly share. So a few weeks ago, you guys have maybe heard me talk about like, oh, I have ADHD. I'm not clinically diagnosed, but I know I have ADHD and I can't focus and I can't calm down and all of these different things. Well, I started to think about, what do I have going on around me? And it actually started because I needed to finish my book. If you didn't know, I have a book coming out here shortly, probably within like the next month or so. It's called Lean In. It's about my dad's cancer journey, just kind of my observation of watching a person meet their mortality and basically the documentation of that from my perspective about life and death and all the beauty in between and all the beauty that's in those not so beautiful things. But I needed to finish finalizing some edits and getting some things done on it to get the book ready. And my lack of focus and attention was so challenging. And I have kind of been leaning on this. I've got ADHD. It's why I can't focus. It's why I can't execute. It's why I can't do this. It's why I can't be consistent. That's why I feel like amped all the time and I've got so much to do and there's not enough time to do it, and then I forget things. And so here are a few things that I've been trying over the past few weeks, and I've seen great improvements in a short amount of time. I want to share those with you. So basically what I started thinking about is the dopamine surge. Like, the dopamine is the reward system in the brain. And especially in a time of technology where we use social media and we can jump from one app to the next, and text messages and emails and all these different things that we can do cause distractions to us. And so our focus is so choppy. And if you're anything like how I was, and I've really been observing this, not in a judgmental way, but just observing it now that I'm aware of it, is that if you go out to the store or a doctor's office or pretty much anywhere sitting at a red light, you will see people scrolling on their phones. It's like we can't take a moment to just be with ourselves. We have to constantly be scrolling, and I'm guilty of that as well. I mean, that's first and foremost, I was guilty of that, just laying around scrolling, jumping from one app to the next, or needing to grab my phone to text my husband or somebody, and then next thing you know, I'm like in an Instagram reel black hole, and like, wait a minute, and I put my phone down and to get off of here, I got things to do. I'm like, well, what was I even on my phone for? Just so distracted. And then the main thing that really got me into this is that in my work, I need to be able to have long periods of deep focus. And I was noticing that I'm constantly jumping between Slack and my email. Constantly. It's like I'm going to miss something, or I need to let people know that I'm available and that I'm there. And I have really great boundaries around email, around Blushing Phoenix and other things. Like, I only check in, and even on comments on Blushing Phoenix, I only check in on those things at designated times, because I would just be so distracted all the time. But in my day job, I am constantly checking Slack and email, Slack and email, Slack and email. And I would be in the middle of focusing on some project or some research, and then all of a sudden I'm like, click, click, click. I realized like this was taking so much more than it was giving, and that nobody in my work is asking me to be available 24/7 or to respond to their email right away. If somebody really needs me, they can text me, and I've got my watch on, and I will usually see that text pop up unless I have the silencer on here and no notifications, or my notifications turned off. But if somebody really needs to get to me, they can get to me. And so I told our COO, who I work directly with, that I am going to shut those down. I'm going to check in on those like 20 minutes, 3 times a day. And other than that, I'm not looking at it. That started about 2 weeks ago, and I have done so much stuff. Like, there's some other things that I've put in place, like a calendar system. If you have not read the book Atomic Habits, you need to read that book. Actually, I'm making a note to put that in the description. Hold on, wait. Atomic Habits. I'm going to link that for you. If you have not read it, you got to read it. If you're a physical, like, want to read it person, read it. If you're an Audible person, get it on Audible and read it. I think I have an affiliate code for Audible. I'm going to check on that. If I do, I'm going to put that in the description box below. It'd be awesome if you would click on that and get the audiobook from there, because I do get a small commission on that, and that helps support the channel. Hold on, making a note of things to do. This is part of my, like, being productive. Audible affiliate. Anyway, Atomic Habits. And there's another book that I read. I'm going to put that one as well. These are just, they've been very helpful over the past few weeks, and I wanted to share them with you. Let me make a note of the other book. So I think it's called, like, the 15 Habits of Time Management for Successful People. And I think that was the book that actually talks about the calendar system. So I use a digital calendar, and on this calendar, you can put these blocks of, like, anything that you need to get done. You put it on a little block and you just knock that off your list. It's not necessarily about a to-do list. It's more about it's one thing to have a to-do list. It's another thing to actually have it on the calendar of when you're going to actually do it. So I wanted to share those with you, and I'll get you those resources so that you can look into those if you're interested. But so what it has done is not having this constant checking of social media, these dopamine surges between my email and Slack and all these different communication outlets, and even just some text messages from people. Like, I'm just waiting till the end of the day to respond to text messages. There's so many times throughout the past few weeks that I'm like, where's my phone? I don't even know what I've done with my phone, because I'm not keeping up with my phone anymore. And my productivity has gone through the roof. And I'm sharing that with you because, like, what does that have to do with blushing? What does that have to do with overactive nervous system? It has so much to do with your overactive sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight, that feeling of anxiousness, of I'm forgetting something, or needing to be addicted. You are addicted to these social media outlets and these things that are making your brain get this reward system constantly. And I think that when we kind of deprive ourselves of that, we're able to, I don't know, like, just everything calms down. Obviously, I haven't looked at the science behind this, but you calm down. Your brain starts to realize, like, you don't need this constant stimulation. And the stimulation is also what can overwhelm and overtax our adrenals. I found myself this morning in meditation, because that's something I've been adding back in. It's been a while since I've just been in silence by myself. And I was able, for the first time, to really anchor and connect in that silence and that solitude, because I wasn't rushing to get to the next thing or distracted about, I should check this and do that. I mean, obviously my thoughts are still wandering like they do in meditation. That's normal. But I really felt like present, like I was there with myself. I've noticed in the car line, picking up my kid from school, that I normally would be sitting there scrolling on my phone, and I just have a book, like a physical hard copy book that I've been reading. It's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. A friend suggested that I read it. It is a Christian book. I am not a Christian, but it's pretty practical in your spiritual life, period. It's really good. I just felt like this was a theme in my life of slowing down, doing less, and allowing my brain to just take a break so that I can think, so that I can focus, so that I can do the things that matter most. A word, I feel like I always have, like, this word in different seasons. And by word, I mean, like, it could be a couple of words, but it's this, like, power statement for myself in different seasons. And for this season, it has really been take up space. Some of you may know I just came out of a long season of postpartum depression. I have a baby, he's 15 months old. And that was the first time I ever experienced postpartum depression. It is awful. And anybody who is going through that or has gone through that, kudos to you for hanging in there and continuing on, because it is no easy feat. It is quite a challenge. And I really feel like it is getting behind me at this point. But that's a whole different video for another time, but just a whole change of season. And in this season, I really feel that my word is take up space. And that means that breathe in the environments that you're in. Let yourself take up space in that place. I have been reminding myself that you are not insecure, and what you do and what you say matters. And somehow over the years, I've gotten into this place where I just feel really small, and that is a lie. It is not who I am. When I have things to say, there are important things to say. I belong here too. I am allowed to be in this space. There's no need to be timid anymore. And I think it's just kind of like getting back to the nature of who I believe I truly am. And honestly, I told my husband this yesterday. I said, I feel like the more I practice this take up space, this project your voice, this speak up, this you can have an opinion and a thought, and you can stand by those things, whether somebody agrees with them or not. And I said, I really believe the more I step into that power, into that place, and I have the brain capacity to do that because I'm not overstimulated by all these things that don't really matter all the time. And I'm filling myself with those truths, and I'm filling myself with like good knowledge and wisdom and things that are going to grow me as a person. I think the flushing will go away. And I just feel very strong about that. I feel like the flushing will go away. I do. I think that one thing I've been asking myself a lot lately, if I feel anxious or I feel like I'm going to flush or I am flushing, I ask myself, what is your body trying to tell you? Hey, body, what are you trying to tell me right now? And a lot of times it's telling me you don't trust that person. You don't feel safe here. And then I'm able to analyze, like, why do I not feel safe here? And even, I know I've told you all a lot that there's sometimes that I flushed. I'm like, there was absolutely no reason to flush. But instead of me trying to be logical about there was no reason to flush, I am actually asking myself, my body, what are you trying to tell me right now? And really listening for what my body is saying to me. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be what feels true on the outside, but it is still my body is warning me of something or telling me you don't feel comfortable and safe and you don't feel like you're allowed to be yourself here. And whether that's a lie or a limited belief that I've told myself, that's fine. But instead of dismissing it like, oh, it's just hot or it's this or it's that, there was a video that I posted recently, I think it was this week, about I just left the doctor and I was flushing a little bit because it was hot in the car. And even then, I'm asking my body, what are you trying to tell me? And listening for what my body is saying, which is, you're hot and your body is uncomfortable. And that's fine. That's what I assumed it was. But I don't want to make assumptions of what my body is telling me. I want to ask my body, what are you telling me? When I started this journey a few years ago and started YouTube, I had just had this moment at the dentist where I was getting a root canal, and it was this, go back and watch that video. I'll link it in the description box below. Let me make a note that I'm going to link that. Link first video. Anyway, it was a dental procedure that was being done, and that's kind of what triggered me to want to start talking about this publicly. I went to the dentist this week, you guys. It's really funny because I was getting a crown replaced, and I did not flush one time at the dentist. I felt so okay in that environment, even though it's uncomfortable. I don't know if anybody's really just so thrilled to be at the dentist. But I just felt comfortable because I'm really practicing telling myself to take up space and working through some insecure feelings and limited beliefs that were making me feel insecure, which are making me feel small in regards to taking up space. And that is not who I'm going to be anymore. And I think some of these books that I'm suggesting to you, they really get your mind in this place of, who do I want to be, and how would that person act? How would that person be? How would that person operate? What habits would that person have? And that is how we move into our greatest potential. That is how we get out of this, like, I feel so small and broken and messed up because I turn red. One thing that I say to you guys a lot is we talk about reframing on this channel. We talk about, what have we told ourselves about the flushing or the blushing, and what are we believing about it, and why are there some people who turn red and don't care, and there's some people who turn red and like I cannot leave my house. I've heard people have literally told me it is ruining my life, I cannot leave my house. You all know that I've shared with you that I have a video about it. People have literally committed suicide over chronic blushing and erythrophobia. It is a very serious situation based off of how you are looking at it. So I'm not minimizing anybody's feelings or thoughts around blushing and flushing. But what I'm saying to you is, because I was that person too, and what I'm saying to you is, we have to move beyond that. We have to see that we are so much more than redness, that there's so much more for us. And it's in here, it's in our heads, that we are believing something that is telling us that we are small, that we should be insecure, that something is wrong with us, that we need to explain why we're turning red, that something is wrong with us because we are turning red. And I call bullshit. I'm 100% calling bullshit on that. It's a lie. It's not true. Doesn't mean we're going to feel free from it right away just because somebody told you it's a lie, or because you put notes around you that say you are not insecure or take up space. But it's, if we can sit and tell ourselves, or we've gotten ourselves to a place where we are wired to blush and flush and feel insecure and feel afraid and have this trauma response when whatever is happening in the environment happens, why would we not be able to undo it? Why would we not be able to wire something different? It's going to take some work and some effort. But I believe this for myself. And if you want to come on that journey with me, I believe it for you too. So the belief of it is up to me and you. I have already seen radical changes in my life from 3 years ago when I first started this channel to now with the flushing situation. Why would I not be able to keep going that way? Why would you not be able to keep going on from here? So I know this is a little like all over the place, but I really felt it was important to share some of these really positive things that I've experienced, these huge positive impacts in just a short amount of time, from changing some things in my mindset. Another thing that I'll share with you, since we're here and we're chatting, is after having the baby, it's been really hard for me to lose weight. And when I say hard, it's been, a lot of that is on my shoulders because I haven't actually done the work to get the results that I'm looking for. But also, I just have felt so mentally stalled. And I'm not saying for anybody who's had a baby that you have to jump right back into your pre-baby body, but for me, it's for feeling good. It's for having energy. It is a goal of mine, to not necessarily look a certain way, but to feel a certain way. And over the past 3 weeks, month or so, after just changing some things about my mindset and some habits, daily habits, and a couple of other things, obviously my diet, I've started losing weight again. And again, that's not my goal at the end of the day, to lose weight. My goal is to feel healthier and to make sure that I'm consuming better foods. And if you guys want to know more about that, I'd be happy to share in another video. But I've already lost like 7 pounds in a month, and I'm eating. It's not like I'm starving myself. It's just some really great habits, practices, and consistency that I've been able to put in place of other things such as sitting and scrolling and all these things. I'm also being very aware of what I'm saying to myself. Oh, I have ADHD, I can't focus, I have this, I have that. Like, that's limited beliefs. I'm not doing that anymore. I am speaking to the fact of, if I think I have ADHD, not clinical, or it's not diagnosed, but I've always said that about myself. I wonder how many of us are walking around saying that we have ADHD and we actually are just like dopamine addicted, and we cannot focus because we need these quick surges of information, whether it's relevant or not, or we feel bored and we don't know how to sit by ourselves, and we don't know how to just sit and breathe for a little bit. We're constantly rushing to the next thing. And I think in this busy lifestyle, I call bullshit on that. And I'm guilty of it, but I'm not going to live that way anymore. I've noticed that I feel so much more relaxed. I am accomplishing things that are really important to me. I am not flushing. It's incredible. I don't think I'm cured, obviously, but I do think that I am rewiring. I am relaying the wires that need to be wiring and firing together. And I'm just not wanting to live in my past anymore. Obviously, there's a lot in my story that leads up to where we are and who I am and blah, blah, blah. But I'm kind of done living in the past traumas, and this is why I am the way I am, and this is why my body does what it does. And I'm just kind of ready to move into this new season of life of who am I now? Who do I want to be? What do I want to bring to this world while I'm here? It's just really time to come out from hiding. And this is my invitation to you. Number one, I wanted to share this information with you because I'm clearly super excited and passionate and just want to share things with you all as I explore and figure things out for myself, and in hopes that maybe it would help you too. But I just am ready to just come out of hiding. Even with this channel, I produce here, and then I get like, I need to take a break from it. And I think that there are elements of my life where I just need a break sometimes. So that will probably always continue to happen. But there's a lot more that I really want to do for this community and bringing educational information to you. It's always been a vision of mine to grow Blushing Phoenix to where we could get like true medical professionals helping with this organization to provide more research and therapies or whatever the case may be, to help bring a broader awareness to chronic blushing and erythrophobia, and a safe place for you all and people who are struggling with chronic blushing and erythrophobia to land and heal. And sometimes healing doesn't happen like that off of hypnosis or a CBT session or two. It takes time. It takes time to be kind of buried in one place and like alone in the depths of that place. I don't really know how else to explain it. It's almost like growing a plant. You have to bury the seed, and it takes a while for that thing to bust through the soil and actually be the plant that it was meant to be. And so sometimes I think we're a little buried and we don't think anything's happening, but we don't realize that like these roots are growing deeply down, so that as we purge through the soil and bust through that soil, when the wind blows and the rain falls, we're able to stand in those elements. And I don't know, I'm just being philosophical a little bit, and just wanted to share these things with you. Wanted to give you a boost of energy if you were feeling down this week. And I want to reiterate to every single one of you that you are not alone, and you are so much more than redness. And I am so glad you're here. This is a safe place for you. I am so glad that we have connected, even if it's through this really weird condition that we have going on. But just moving on, just moving on. So anyway, that is my update. I'm linking everything below for you. You all have a great weekend, and I will talk to you in my next video. Two things. You probably have seen I've been putting up a video a week. I've got a really cool video coming up next week, actually the next 3 weeks. It's going over my experience with Blushing Phoenix tea, the CBD cream, the original number 12 CBD cream, and the propranolol. And they're just some updates on those things. So those 3 videos are coming over the next 3 weeks to give you guys a quick recap and update of where we are with those things. Do they work? A little backdrop, etc. And also every week there's one video that comes out that has to do with calming sounds. The ones that have been out recently aren't that great, but because they're more nature sounds, but coming up are going to be more music sounds, and they're about 20 to 30 minutes long. And it's just for you to take time, turn those on, breathe, relax, let it play in the background, whatever you need to do to give yourself a moment to breathe and relax and let your nervous system decompress. So twofold, it is going to help support you and your nervous system, and it also helps support the channel with our watch hours as we're continuing to grow and support the channel. It allows me to do more things with Blushing Phoenix and help you guys a little bit more. So anyway, I love this. I love you guys. I love being able to work through all of this with you. You guys have been a huge part of my growth and my success here. So I will leave you with that. And until my next video, I'll see you later. Bye.